Look at these. Look at these new packaging for the Digimon card game. This is crazy. The the size of the boxes are like half their size. But I mean, like if you take a look at the Digimon or the One Piece card game, the boxes are pretty small too. I mean, they're literally the size of the card. So my guess is probably if you take a Digimon card, it's probably the no, that's taller than the box. So it's probably yeah, no, they've definitely reduced the size of their packaging. Well, that's completely unrelated to what's going on. Hello, Internet. I am the hero of Julios once again with another One Piece chapter summary. This week's chapter is chapter 1063, The Only Family I Have. Or My Only Family, depending on the translation you're using. So, I want to bring to attention, I was right about the current cover story. Kuzan froze over the whole place, easily defeated Cracker, and Pudding has been abducted. The memo fruit could be in the hands of Blackbeard. That's not good. I don't know exactly who he would plan to give that fruit to, considering, no offense, but most of Blackbeard's crew members aren't exactly the best and brightest in the world. But the ability to erase memories and then crop in different ones. Now, mind you, when Pudding did that to Reiju, Pudding chopped out a memory of a soldier getting shot and put that into Reiju's memory. So, Pudding has like a depository of memories that she can like pull from that she has stolen from people in order to create these makeshift memories. I assume if it's like what Hancock was saying about her devil fruit, if someone were to eat the memo fruit, they have to start over from scratch. So they wouldn't have access to any memories that Pudding has stolen, nor would they be able to fix any memories that Pudding has destroyed. So my guess would be, whoever he gave this to, they would have to, I guess, go to innocent people and just take memories from them in order to dice up and chop and create whatever they want. We'll get more to Blackbeard and his evil plans later in this chapter, actually, so look forward to that. The actual chapter itself, however, starts off with Luffy, Bonnie, and Chopper as big, fat, having just eaten as much as they could thanks to Atlas. And Atlas even sort of like waves them off and says, I'm off to go do other things. So she sort of wanders away. But there is this cute moment where she looks at the three of them all fat and pudgy and she goes, "Wow, you guys really ate a lot. You all got so fat, all four of you." And this is why I love Jinbei. Anyone else would have taken that as an insult, or it would have been like some dumb character who didn't notice, but she calls all four of them fat, and Jinbei just sort of goes, "Nope, I always look like this." He's he is one of my favorite characters. I love his nonchalant, calm response to anything crazy going on. But with that, she bids them adieu, and they start seeing the population of this virtual city, hologram town. We don't really see anyone touch anything, so we don't really know if these are real people. But we don't even have time to really examine that, as Luffy manages to find another replicator. Not one that creates food, this one creates clothing. As we heard from Bonnie as she pressed the button and you see like this puff of clouds and stuff, and she says like, I can, take care of my own clothes. I'm gonna guess this is actual like real clothing, and they just sort of, the machine sort of took the clothing off of you and gave you new stuff. Jinbei's rocking a nice little Hawaiian shirt. Bonnie is wearing some battle armor. Luffy has this just nice winter coat. And Chopper looks like a little futuristic robot. So it's good clothes, and it comes in so many different varieties. Jinbei even points out that this would be great for disguises if we weren't already being the opposite of inconspicuous. But they don't have any time to talk about that either, because just as they're done discussing their new clothes, Luffy sees a giant bear heading towards them. Only it's not a bear, it's a Kuma. It's Bartholomew Kuma, as he's marching over in his police gear. So obviously this is a pacifista, as we see Luffy Luffy senses the ill intent coming from it as it begins to dash towards them. It accuses them of stealing the clothing that they're currently wearing. So I'm not really sure how Vegapunk's defense systems work. You would think if Atlas saw them as a threat, Atlas would have done something about them. This is not the case. So the Pacifista is about to fight Luffy. It's firing, lasers at him. And as Luffy's about to retaliate, Bonnie actually stops him. See, a few chapters ago, when Bonnie said that Vegapunk turned her dad into a cyborg, she never actually mentioned by name who that person was. We of the One Piece fandom knew it was Kuma because logic dictates, as the audience, what other cyborg person have we seen Bonnie upset over? But Luffy, Chopper, Jinbei, they didn't know that. Bonnie tells Luffy to stop because that's her father. This, of course, comes as a shock to... Forgot to turn on my light. This, of course, comes as a shock to everyone involved, and Bonnie is in tears, telling Luffy to please not hurt her daddy. Of course, Luffy knows this is a pacifista, but he kind of listens to her as they dodge out of the way, and an explosion sort of damages the section of island that Luffy is on. What's weird about this? No, it's not even weird. I understand the sentiment behind it, because even if it was just a robot in the likeness of him, I would not want to fight my father either. So I can see where Bonnie's coming from here. But that's all we get to see on this matter. The rest of the chapter is dedicated to Blackbeard. We see his ship blasting attacks into the water as he's laughing, and he's shooting into the water at something. And we see under the sea as blasts are coming in at them. It is the Polar Tang, Trafalgar Law's submarine. And they're like, "This isn't good, Captain. We're taking on water." And Captain Law says, "Okay, it's no good. We have to surface." And we see Law is now a woman. Now, mind you, I was reading this page by page, so I didn't see, what was going on, who was behind this, but Oda had me for a second, because I was looking at it, and I was like, who, how, and Law's entire crew is changing, and it was like based on touch. So if somebody who had been gender swapped touched you, you would then be gender swapped. So it was a touch-based pathogen going through the entire submarine, and it clicked. I thought, oh my gosh, Blackbeard killed Ivankov, gave his power to someone, and then awakened to that power. Maybe Ivankov's awakened devil fruit lets him use his hormone ability at a distance? No, that is not the case. It was Doc Q. Yes, as the Polar Tank surfaces, Law basically remembers his training. Law says in that Emperor fight against Big Mom, he realized anything can be overcome with the right amount of hockey. And Law sort of just flexes his hockey muscles, I don't even know how to word it, and changed back. As Law did that, though, we see Doc Q and he goes, oh, he figured it out. He healed himself with hockey. And this is the part that's interesting. The antibodies will spread just as quickly as the pathogen. So once you have cured the disease that Doc Q sends out, it heals, the antibodies spread just as fast as the sickness does. That is because Doc Q has the power of the sick fruit. Yes, Blackbeard has been traveling the world, and he has been capturing strong devil fruits, killing off their users, and feeding the powers to his own men. And we get to see a couple more as well. The sick fruit is the most terrifying in my opinion, because this was he literally just calls it the gender swap disease or something. So he just has the power to just make crap up. Now, it's interesting that it has limits, because from what we saw, you have to touch someone to transfer the disease. Maybe it's like when the sick fruit user comes up with a sickness, they have to figure out how it spreads, how it's cured, what it does. Is it blood-based? Is it airborne? Maybe its awakening is something crazy, but something tells me the Blackbeard pirates don't have enough time to awaken their devil fruits. Unless we... So far, awakening seems to... It's not based on how much time you spend with it, it's how much you train with it. Or in Luffy's case, it's if you die with it. But whatever the reason, the Sick fruit is the most interesting of the ones I saw here because it looks like it's the most creative of the ones we have. As the Heart Pirates manage to get up above water and they get to shore, Van Alger on Blackbeard's ship looks at Jesus Burgess next to him and he says, "All right, Burgess, we're going to their island," and the two of them off the ship. This is because Van Alger has the power of the Warp fruit. Yes, Blackbeard was very smart with which fruits he's giving his employees. His sniper with the power of the warp fruit. Not only is he able to warp Burgess, but he was also able to warp himself. At least that's what's implied by the panel of the two of them not being there anymore. A sniper with the power to warp? That's insane, because now he can just, if he's somewhere and somebody figures out his position, now he's somewhere else completely, and you have to spend all that time finding him again. Only someone with truly advanced observation haki is going to be able to feel him disappear and reappear elsewhere. If the theories across the entire fandom are correct and Usopp does fight Van Alger, Usopp's going to have to work on his observation haki, and we might see a little bit of that in this current arc, or maybe the next arc, if we ever do go to Elbaf. The next devil fruit obtained by the Blackbeard pirates is Burgess himself. This guy, he was going for the flame fruit, failed. Went for the gum fruit. Really good thing he failed, because imagine for a moment if Burgess had the power of Toon Force. But no, Blackbeard found a very appropriate devil fruit for him. Burgess now has the power of the strong fruit, a devil fruit that increased his already incredible strength. He picks up a mountain, a literal mountain, and Herculeanly, is that a word? Throws it at Law and his crew. Law opens up a room, stabs through it, and as he is distracted by this, he hears that classic Blackbeard laugh. And he looks up, and there's Blackbeard looking down at him. Blackbeard is on top of Stronger, and also Daku. But Stronger has a devil fruit too now. Yes, the fourth devil fruit we're being introduced to in this chapter. The mythical horse fruit, Pegasus. I mean, yeah, I'm glad the Pegasus has finally appeared in the One Piece story, but mythical zones are starting to become way less rare than they were. You know, they were supposed to be like even more than Logias. They were supposed to be rare, and I would have to look up the exact number. One moment, please. So I just looked it up, and yes, technically mythical zones are still rarer than Logia, but there are 9 mythical zones and 12 different Logias. Even though Monet is dead, we still have 12 confirmed Logia devil fruits out there. So they're way less rare than they used to be. I will say, though, this is a very funny animal to give a Pegasus devil fruit to. So we had Pierre, a bird with the horse fruit. So his hybrid turned him into a Pegasus itself. That's a clever workaround that Oda managed. However, giving Stronger a horse, the Pegasus devil fruit, which is also a horse, means that he has base form horse, full animal form horse, hybrid form Pegasus? Horse? Like, you got Pegasus, you got horse. I want to know what his hybrid looks like. Like, how is Oda going to make this one look? Is it just he doesn't have one? Or is he just like half the wings? Maybe like little wings on his hoofs so he just like runs faster? Well, that could work. Regardless, whatever the reason, I'm interested in to see what the other mythical abilities of the Pegasus are, because a mythical zone implies that they get more than just looking like that animal. Yamato can breathe ice, Kaido is a dragon, Luffy warps reality because it's funny. Mythical fruits get weird powers, and I'm sure Stronger is no different. But enough about that. Blackbeard is here for one reason. Luffy, Kid, Law all left Wano at the same time. All of them defeated Kaido and Big Mom in one way or another, and Blackbeard knew they would go 3 separate ways because of how the log pose works in the new world. Because of this, Blackbeard knew if he just went to one of the islands that are of the 3 choices and waited, Blackbeard would catch one of them. He gambled, he got Law. And he says, and I quote, "You defeated Kaido, which means you guys have some of his poneglyph rubbings. How many you got on ya?" And Law says, "You know what? I was about to ask you the same thing, so winner takes all here." Law's gonna fight Blackbeard, and the winner will take the other one's road poneglyphs. But if Law has the Zou poneglyph, which we can assume he does because he was a part of the official alliance with Luffy, he has Big Mom's poneglyph, and he has Kaido's poneglyph. Unless the Straw Hat crew did not share with him Big Mom's poneglyph. That is a possibility. That means Blackbeard has access to the 4th poneglyph. Unless Blackbeard has none. In which case, Law is fighting a battle where he gains nothing from this except defeating Blackbeard. Which, I guess if you want the fame of being an emperor, that's the way to go. But if his fight, if his fight is just to get the poneglyphs, Blackbeard might actually have nothing for him. Which it sucks for Law, because now he's just fighting for no reason. What worries me about this is, does anyone else remember the last time Blackbeard fought someone off screen? Ace died. So to all you Law fans out there, I don't think Law's gonna die. But I think Law's in trouble. Pudding's in trouble. Kobe's in trouble. Blackbeard is trouble incarnate. I'm sure Kuzan has his reasons for helping Blackbeard out, or allying with Blackbeard, or whatever it is that's going on. But things are not looking good for potentially Luffy's final battle. Unless Luffy's final battle is with Eam, in which case Blackbeard will probably be the penultimate battle. Regardless, that's all we get for this chapter. We get introductions to incredibly powerful devil fruits, we have Law about to square off against Blackbeard, and Luffy is trying to fight a pacifista without upsetting Bonnie. But hey, no break next week, so that's good for us, and I hope you will join me as I read and talk about that in the next week. Thank you for watching as always, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.